The woodpecker was calmly looking for larvae in the bark when a huge snake attacked him from a hollow. Only the reptile's head is like half the bird. But the snake messed with the wrong one. The woodpecker was not only not afraid, but also began to peck at the enemy with his beak. And now we will show you other cases when birds demonstrated unexpected fighting qualities and courage. Many birds build nests in trees, but there are species that settle on the ground. If you think that this is stupid and the birds are defenseless there, then now you will understand your mistake. These birds can explain to anyone that they keep this area right here, and they do not need uninvited guests. Small, not the strongest, and not armed with some impressive claws of birds are plovers. They are one of the most aggressive birds when it comes to protecting their nests. They can afford to build nests on the ground simply because they protect the laying from anyone. Did the heron not realize that she got too close to the eggs? No problem. A few painful blows, and the larger bird flies away in shock. Was some sort of lizard too close and able to threaten the nest? Well, now she will regret it that she was born at all. A snake or a daytime bird of prey like a falcon, everyone will receive their portion of blows. They don't know who they're messing with when they get too close to the plover's nest. The secret of the plover's success is teamwork. Both parents swoop in on any alien from different sides, stun with pressure, and peck again and again until the nest is safe. They are not capable of causing serious damage to a large enemy, but since the birds attack even before their nest is found, the victim of the attack simply does not understand what is happening and runs away as soon as possible, just so that these scumbags stop attacking. For the sake of protecting the eggs, plovers can attack an animal 10 times larger than themselves. It is known that crows are the smartest birds. But this individual clearly uses its intelligence for more selfish purposes than its fellow birds. When the lens caught a unique case of a crow using a huge eagle as a taxi, it was difficult for many people to believe in such impudence of a black-feathered one. But it turned out to be true. The daytime predator is also in shock. He did not expect that he would be giving a ride to a bird that, under other circumstances, could have become his prey. But whether the crow is doing this well with communication, or the eagle is in a hurry somewhere and doesn't want to waste time on disassembly with a more maneuverable and cheeky feathered friend, the result is known. For quite a long time, the crow really flew astride the eagle. However, perhaps the eagle just does not want to get involved with this feathered friend. After all, the crows know a lot about mutual assistance. Who knows how many friends this cheeky little bird has? Even a huge eagle will not allow himself to get involved with a whole flock of crows. He could be stronger than his opponent several times more, but against one enemy, the enemy can put up a dozen. In such an aerial battle, the eagle cannot resist. Constant attacks from different sides will weaken it and force it to retreat. And this is at best. For the sake of protecting their own kind, many crows simply just despise danger. I agree. Such courage is worthy of your like, isn't it? And crows are also very good at assessing the strength of the enemy and know when courage can be more effective than physical strength. Just look at this frightening scene right here. The raven simply suppresses the owl and intimidates the nocturnal predator. The owl just didn't know that this roof already belongs to some sort of black gangster, but apparently they will clearly explain to her what's what. The crow is slowly advancing and seems to be deliberately playing on the emotions of the frightened owl. It's croaking, spreading its wings, moving slowly and deliberately straightforwardly to make the maximum impression on its enemy. At the same time, the smart black bird avoids a real fight. It's strong enough to defeat the owl, but can get accidentally wounded by the sharp claws of its opponent. So instead of violence, the crow uses intimidation. And something tells me that the owl will never come back to this ledge ever again. The slender-legged and elegant heron is often underestimated. It walks impressively along the shore of the reservoir, does not make any sudden movements, looks harmless, but this is all a front. In front of you is a formidable predator. Its neighbors obviously regretted contacting him. The heron attacks with lightning speed and grabs someone else's chicken before its parents have time to do anything about it. Honestly, it seems that their beak is suitable only for catching small fish, but this rabbit thought the same thing and made a fatal mistake when it got too close to the heron. The bird struck a crushing blow right in the throat of the big-eared animal. The heron's beak worked like a sword, and the small fluffy paws did not touch this hunter at all. The toucan is one of the most famous tropical birds. Thanks to their unusual appearance and to the combination of noble black plumage with the bright color of a huge beak, they have gained a reputation as cute little birds that symbolize the diversity of the animal world in the jungle. But wildlife lovers did not know who they were messing with. When the way of life of toucans began to be studied, people were shocked just by how brutal the hunter turned out to be. The toucan uses its large beak, which is only slightly inferior in length to the entire body of the bird, as a crushing weapon. At the same time, a sword, a hammer, and pincers. And this parrot underestimates the toucan, apparently watching a tropical relative of the woodpecker eat some sort of fruit. The parrot let him get too close, and he paid for it. One powerful blow, and another feathered symbol of the tropics becomes a victim of the toucan. And these birds actually ruin other people's nests and attack their chicks. Moreover, the toucan is not limited to other feathered ones. They really eat plant food, but they also like meat, and they will never refuse to attack other mammals. This bat became a snack for the aggressive toucan, which dealt with the victim with a few neat blows with the sharp tip of its beak. Cats are dangerous predators for birds that catch urban birds even on the fly. But this cat didn't know who she was messing with when she decided to sneak up on the owl. The feathered predator did not retreat. Instead, the owl instantly spread its wings and made its feathers on its head, back and tail stand on end. The cat is in shock. The bird that she could try to overcome has suddenly increased 3 times. This tactic is a typical defense technique of owls and some other birds. Maybe it looks more funny than threatening to the human eye, but it worked on the cat. It had to abandon its aggressive intentions. Once the snake noticed the 2 birds, it prepared to attack. After all, these are not eagles. What are they capable of? But it turned out that this kind of cuckoo is not the kind of birds that should be messed with. They do not care about reptile venom at all. They didn't even give it a chance to use their weapons when they cleverly attacked the enemy from different sides. One bird grabbed by the tail, the other by the head, and in such a way as to avoid the risk of being bitten. That's it. 2 birds dealt with the poisonous snake in less than a minute. There are 2 things that you can always look at: the way the fire burns, the way the water flows, and how the crane chases 2 tigers around an enclosure as if they were naughty little kittens. Just look at how the attempts of these striped cats ended up remembering their hunting instincts. The crane immediately showed that they had contacted the wrong opponent. It didn't hesitate for a second and instantly launched a counterattack at the first signs of unhealthy curiosity on the part of carnivorous beasts. Just look at how the crane uses all its advantages in a fight with tigers. Each predator is about 25 times larger than the bird. But the crane spreads its huge wings, aggressively advances, and threatens with its long, sharp beak. It's as if a German shepherd could beat 2 hippopotamuses. The complete advantage in physical strength and the strengths of the opponent for the crane is nothing. It chases the adult predatory cats, the biggest panthers in the world, and they just turn away from him in a panic. It's almost as if the bird is just having fun and mocking the confused and humiliated large predators. While they can be understood, a well-aimed blow to the head could deprive a tiger of its eye, but all the same, the forces of these opponents are incomparable. With one blow of the paw, the tiger could sweep away the feathered aggressor and immediately have a snack after that. But no, the strength of character in this fight is clearly unequivocally on the side of the bird. which pursues its opponents until it gets bored and shows with all its appearance that now it is its aviary. Theoretically, wild animals should be afraid of machinery and machines. Huge pieces of metal that look strange, make unnatural, frightening noises, and move very fast. But practice is at odds with theory. This representative of the crow's family is a clear hater of drones and other noisy equipment. And he expresses his attitude towards them radically. The bird swoops down on the drone and starts digging into its iron and plastic insides right in the air. The goal is clear. The feathered vandal just wants to shoot down the aircraft, and we can understand him. The drone makes an annoying noise, interferes with its hunting, and simply infuriates the bird. So cases of bird attacks on drones are becoming more and more frequent every year. The reason is simple. The first shock from the appearance of these buzzing pieces of garbage in the sky has passed. The birds have actually gotten used to the fact that drones do not pose a serious threat. Therefore, they're trying to get rid of the unpleasant neighborhood. And the pilot of this drone clearly did not understand what was bothering someone, but it was too late. After a sudden fall from such a huge height, only a pile of debris remained from this car. Well, here it will not be possible to file a lawsuit for damage to someone else's property, because the bird does not care about it. The only positive thing is the opportunity to see the bird attack from the point of view of the victim of aggression, but without the risk of injury. Don't you agree? These recordings look impressive, but you are glad that these birds aren't attacking people, but only lifeless equipment. To be honest, we are even grateful to this bird. It showed us that people should think about not polluting the sky with their toys. And how do you feel about this situation? Maybe you support the bird and, on occasion, would help her and shoot down the drone with a well-aimed stone throw? Or vice versa? Are you a pilot and do you like to do aerial photography? Answer in the comments. We're interested to know your opinion. A hyena can fight on equal terms with a leopard, but it turned out that she gives in to an ordinary donkey. The hyena had no idea that she would receive such a fierce rebuff. The donkey grabbed the opponent by the scruff of the neck and began to drag him around like a rag to teach a painful lesson. It's better not to mess with the donkey. And there are many such cases. Hyenas often attack donkeys, believing that they are facing easy prey. Relatively long ears and neck, small compared with a horse, height, as well as a long, cute muzzle, make it all seem that this herbivore is suitable only for the role of prey, but not an aggressor. But in fact, donkeys have an incredibly cool temper. Not only are these ungulates completely fearless, but they also know how to fight perfectly. And the hyena realized this too late, because the donkey's main weapon is its incredibly strong jaws. The hyena has long fangs in his mouth, and the bite force is enough to bite through the femur of a large ungulate. This is important because the predator fights poorly with its paws, and since there are a lot of carrion on its menu, the ability to crush bones for the sake of bone marrow is very important. It seems that the hyena has the advantage here, but the bite of a donkey is much more dangerous. He has no pronounced canines, and the incisors are not sharp but flat, except it's much scarier. The fact is that the donkey in the wild lives in places with a very harsh desert climate, where there is only hard, prickly, and hard vegetation. The donkey does not just cut it off, but grinds it with its jaws. His mouth is like an industrial vice. The pressure per square inch, square centimeter is so severe that the donkey can literally grind whatever gets into its mouth. In this case, the back of the hyena's neck got there. If the beginning of the fight, when the opponents are spinning in an attempt to grab each other with their teeth, looks comical, then it becomes no laughing matter. The donkey has excellent reaction and determination. He brutally attacks the enemy, grabs him by the vulnerable places in such a way that the predator could neither escape, nor get out, nor counterattack. Often the target of a donkey in a confrontation with hyenas is the muzzle, nape, back of the head, and neck of the opponent. It even feels kind of uncomfortable when you can see how ruthlessly the donkey drags the hyena, which tries to bite the enemy back, and can't. When a hoofed animal grabs a predator by the listed areas, the hyena has no chance to reach the enemy with its jaws. Trying to escape only brings more discomfort to the predator. In addition, a strong bite by donkey jaws on the back of the neck is very traumatic. Have you seen how cats carry their kittens, holding them in their jaws just by the scruff of the neck? As you can see, there is not even a shadow of this neatness and caution. The donkey tries to injure the opponent as much as possible. And the scruff of the neck is an ideal place to attack, as it is very difficult for the victim to escape. The remaining places of the hyena's body where the donkey can aim its bite pose a danger to the life of this carnivorous beast. Even if the donkey does not bite through the skin, he can break or pinch large vessels, break jaw bones, and damage the spine. In some cases, when the difference in size is quite large, then the donkey manages to lift the hyena off the ground so that the predator's front paws just hang helplessly in the air. And in this case, the hyena has no foothold for resistance. A sharp jerk up or down, and the donkey simply crushes the predator's neck, turning its body into a broken toy. But the main thing is the cruelty of the donkey. You didn't expect this ungulate to behave so aggressively, did you? So the hyena did not expect this, otherwise she would never have come so close to such a potential prey. The donkey doesn't just fight back, he is having fun. And he wants the hyena to remember this painful lesson forever. He does everything to make her understand. In the grip of the donkey, the predator becomes completely helpless. He cannot influence his condition in any way. It is completely at the mercy of the ungulate. The endurance of the donkey is incredible. He can hold the hyena for a very long time and walk with it in his teeth as if the enemy weighs nothing. A hyena can attack the donkey from the rear and bite its leg. Well, then the ungulate will kick. A well-aimed hit in the predator's face will stun the herbivorous fighter for a second to turn around and grab the enemy with his teeth. After that, the donkey will pull the hyena up and down to not only break the muscles in the neck, but also cause damage to the cervical vertebrae. In addition, the donkey simply demonstrates its strength and shows the enemy that it has messed with the wrong opponent. Admit it, such determination from an herbivore is worthy of your like, isn't it? Just because a hyena escaped a bite to the head doesn't mean it can relax now. The donkey is much faster than it might seem at first glance. As you've already realized, it's not enough for him to just fight back. He wants to teach and beat the enemy so that he will chase the hyena, trying to trample it with his massive hooves. The donkey's body is small but muscular, and its legs are strong. Due to living in mountainous terrain, hooves are got a natural sharpening. And a donkey can bite on the move. He knows exactly where to attack in order to cause the most damage. For example, aiming your teeth at the victim's groin, stomach, or hind legs to break them with your own teeth. Do you think it's an accident when a donkey aims its teeth at the hyena's back above the tail? Not at all. If the donkey manages to grab this place securely, clench its jaws, and pull hard on itself, it will simply just break the base of the hyena's spine. So the donkey can permanently turn off the enemy's hind legs, paralyze, or cause even more tragic consequences. The hyena is panicking. Maybe she's already dealt with lions and stayed alive. But getting out of a fight with the donkey in some cases is even more difficult. This is an adventure of completely different level of difficulty. This fox was unlucky. The donkey considered him a threat and attacked with lightning speed. The entire neck of the fox was placed in the jaws of the ungulate. A much more massive and powerful herbivorous beast may understand that a small predator is not a threat to it, but it acts for sure. A few strong jerks into the neck vertebrae of the fox do not stand up. In fact, donkeys are quite patient animals. They're really stubborn and can be very cruel in battle, but they're not so easy to get mad and angry. On the contrary, when this domestic dog snaps at a donkey several times, the ungulate does not react aggressively for a long time. A dog can also be understood. These animals do not like it when someone approaches them during a meal. But still, the dog clearly overdid it when he tried to bite the donkey in the face several times. The hoofed man's patience snapped. It turned its back on the dog, after which it kicked powerfully right on the head. The dog flew off and hit twice, the first time on the donkey's hoof, and the second time on the wall of the house. The dog was literally thrown out of there by a ricochet, so powerful was the blow. It's good that the dog was unharmed, but she will remember this lesson for a long time. The numerical advantage of the enemy does not scare the donkey either. Here, two fairly large dogs attacked him. But the donkey did not just lose his head, he ran into a frontal attack. After which, he picked up one of the opponents by the hind leg, dragged him by his mighty jaws, and threw him to the ground. The donkey could have caused much more damage to the opponents. It seems that the dogs realized who they were dealing with, so they fled in panic. Donkeys are so aggressive towards predators that they can attack even in cases where carnivorous animals did not come for them, but for some other animal. A farmer in northern Colorado uses several donkeys as keepers for his herd of cattle. An interesting alternative to herding dogs, isn't it? Donkeys protect his cows from packs of wolves. Donkeys already play a similar function here. They seem to understand that this Labrador is not an aggressor. The golden dog wants to play, but behaves too intrusively, and the donkeys don't see this as an enemy here, and that saved the dog. If they had decided that the Labrador was a real danger, it's scary to imagine really what would have happened to him. But even so, his cheeky behavior irritates the ungulates. The dog clearly has not yet realized that it is not worth messing with these creatures and teasing them. He runs at them, then when the donkeys get angry and wants to teach the dog a lesson, the Labrador quickly retreats. He likes to race with the ungulates, run in different directions. For him, this is just a game. But such games end badly. Pay attention to how exactly the donkey demonstrates its serious intentions to attack the annoying beast. Donkeys put their ears back. This is not only an expression of anger, but also a protective reflex because the ears are quite sensitive. By removing them, the donkey tries to defend itself from a possible counterattack. The Labrador doesn't think about this. He enjoys his speed because so far he manages to evade a blow, dodge a frontal attack, and avoid being bitten by the donkeys. Well, it was also superfluous to underestimate the cunning of these ungulates. The donkeys turned their backs on the dog. She decided that this was a good opportunity to tease the ungulates a little more and make them run after themselves. But this was a trap. The donkey just waited for the dog to come closer, and then kicked him right in the face. This blow stunned the dog and discouraged her from playing with such rude creatures. But you gotta admit, donkeys know how to protect personal boundaries. The ungulate managed to hit the target so accurately due to the location of the eyes. Dogs, wolves, cats, and humans have binocular vision. The eyes are located in front of the skull, which allows you to better assess the depth and distance between different objects, and see details better and focus on the target. The donkey's eyes are placed further along the sides of the head. Therefore, the field of vision is much wider, and they can see the enemy approaching from behind. An important quality for an herbivore who needs to defend himself from predators.